Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of the Quad Pod. I'm your co-host, Sam.
I'm your co-host, Carlo, and we're very grateful to have you all here today. We have a pretty exciting show lined up for you today. So what we're going to go through is we're going to start off with our weekly roundup, which is kind of just some brief explanations of recent news stories that might be of interest to you.
Yeah.
After which we're going to get into our story spotlight this week, which is going to be a very interesting and constructive discussion.
Yeah.
It's going to be about tipping culture and about how it may have perhaps gotten out of hand. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be right after the weekly roundup.
Oh, yep.
After which we're going to be sticking with our October Halloween-y theme.
Yeah.
We're going to be discussing some cryptids. We're going to be ranking our own personal lists.
Top 5 of
lesser
obscure,
known, obscure cryptids. Yeah.
Also doing a smaller discussion, just how our weeks have been, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And after that will be a little game we have where we on the Instagram we did put up polls on which cryptid you think would win in a fight, and we'll do a little game to see which one we think you guys picked would win.
Yeah. And in the case that you missed that poll, you can find us on Instagram at WCU Quad. I highly recommend that you follow us. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff like this in the future with audience engagement so that you can make your voices heard for the discussions that we have and the games that we play. And the more, the merrier, the more, the better. So we highly encourage you to do so. And now we will get into our weekly roundup.
And you'll start off.
Yes. So to start off, here in the United States, Hurricane Milton projects to be a massively devastating storm. It's on track to slam the Tampa Bay region this week. The storm reached a maximum sustained wind speed of 155 miles per hour, which means that at a point when it was over the Gulf of Mexico, it was a Category 5 storm. President Biden has urged residents of the area to evacuate. Some of these people are actually still cleaning up from the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. So doubly catastrophic and damaging. Milton has gained immense strength due to record hot ocean waters in the Gulf of Mexico, which is, of course, a direct result of global warming.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
155 miles?
155 miles an hour.
I didn't even know when's going to get there.
Yeah, it's not going to be quite that fast when it makes landfall.
Okay.
But just to know that at a certain point, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's...
And I've seen a lot of just coverage from meteorologists about how this is just a totally unprecedented storm because of the fact that, like I said, the record hot ocean waters have really contributed to making this just an absolutely vicious storm. It's going to be super destructive, and I do hope that everybody that has the ability to get out is getting out into safety.
Especially after Hurricane Helen.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And it really is crazy to think that some people are being affected by both of these. I couldn't imagine. Yeah.
And now with other news, it's been reported that over a dozen states have just sued TikTok as they accuse it of causing a mental health crisis among teenagers. TikTok has dismissed the accusations, calling them misleading, but if found guilty, TikTok may face widespread legal repercussions.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to me. I know that TikTok has become kind of the poster child for that kind of thing, social media that may have negative mental health consequences.
I mean, at first it was Instagram, now it's TikTok. Yeah. It always, whatever is most popular.
To me, though, I feel like it just has a lot to do with the fact that TikTok is mainly Chinese-owned currently. And I understand the concerns about security, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. But, just say that, though, right?
Yeah.
Because, if you're going to sue TikTok for a mental health crisis, I mean, you got to sue everything else, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not just TikTok. And I'd actually make the argument that TikTok is the least of the problems in terms of social media platforms. Because TikTok, in my experience, is mostly for comedy, information, just stuff like that. I think, if you're suing TikTok, you got to sue all the other ones too.
I think Instagram's probably. I don't know much about
Instagram. I think is the worst.
Probably the worst.
Instagram is the worst. I would say.
I'd say more teenagers probably have TikTok.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think maybe with TikTok's only big problem there is with scrolling a lot and doing all that. I don't think Instagram has as much of a scrolling problem. But
I think you're absolutely right.
Self-esteem problem is definitely more on Instagram.
Yes.
With teenagers.
If this is your issue, it's not TikTok. If your issue is people wasting time,
I definitely want. There's Instagram
for sure. TikTok, because TikTok is built from the ground up to waste your time. That's what they want to do. But mental health, I think you'd be looking in other places. If that's really what you're after. In the entertainment industry, the new comic book sequel, Joker, Folie à Deux.
Mm-hmm. I was reading it too. I was like, I don't know exactly.
Folie à Deux. So I'm hoping. Okay, that's probably good enough. Right. But the film has been bombing at the box office, but the budget was reported to be somewhere between $190 and $200 million. The movie has thus far only made $37.8 million in its opening weekend, and according to the BBC, this is less than half of what the first film made in about the same amount of time. And I do know that the main thing that's turning a lot of people off about this is the fact that it's a musical. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. I remember I was put off originally when I heard it was a musical. But I heard it's not really. I haven't seen it. I heard it's like kind of musical, not really. Like they're singing portions, but it's not really musical. I don't know. I actually like was interested in this one a little bit. Like, especially with how popular the first one was and how, I mean, that one made so much money. To see this one kind of not do as well is a little surprising, but it also got mixed reviews.
Yeah.
So
I'm kind of thinking about I believe it was 2 episodes ago that I mentioned that this film, the new Joker movie, could have potentially given the box office the potential to reach $1 billion fall.
Right. Yeah.
So with this flop, I don't know enough about the exact numbers, but I mean, it seems to me like that'd be a lot less likely with this movie bombing as much as it did. And it's just funny because in general, it doesn't seem like a great time for the film industry because Megalopolis, I know we talked about that last week.
That, I'm on the same boat with that one where it's like, I wanted to see it, but I don't know anymore, like stuff like that.
Yeah. Not many movies coming out recently that have reached your expectations.
It's strange too, especially in a time where like that, like even movies that have reached high expectations and stuff like that are very critically acclaimed are still not doing good in the box office. So especially with a big movie like this, if you do it right, it will make the money. You know that with DC, it will make the money
for sure.
But man, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's tough. But I think some people have come out saying it actually is that good, and especially because it won an Academy Award in 2019.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah,
I believe it did.
Yeah,
I believe it did.
Actor. Yeah. So people thought, oh, maybe he'll do it again, maybe this, but from what I've heard, no.
Yeah, from what I've heard, it's a wide departure from the first one.
Yeah. All right, well, now going into sports, the Westchester football team finally won their first game on Saturday against Shippensburg with a score 28-10. The record now stands for Westchester at 1-4.
I know you had gone to some prior games. Were you at this one?
Yes, I was there. Okay. I was there. I was really hoping for a win. I'm really excited for the football games. Not as many people go now. I hope now that we've won one, more people will go because I find it a lot of fun.
I mean, a football game's a football game. It's fun to go to. It's fun to watch.
It's so much fun. Yeah, and we were like away for a while, but now we're back. Finally have a win. See if we can keep it going.
Yeah,
hopefully, dude. I have so much fun. I'm super excited there. I really root for us.
Yeah, of course.
But the 4 losses made it hard.
I don't know how many games left in the season.
4 or 5, I think.
4 or 5. Hey, let's shoot for 500.
Let's shoot. Please, bro.
Okay, well, so I think that probably about does it for our weekly roundup.
Yeah, weekly roundup, yeah.
We are going to head into our story spotlight. Just a quick note, you're going to see our clothes change. We had some technical difficulties, but
there was a few, but our clothes will be back for the game at the end.
Yeah, we're gonna kind of flip flop a little bit here, but just bear with us.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties, but this shouldn't happen again. We're figuring it out right now. For next week's episode, we should be all like in the same clothes throughout the whole thing.
That is the goal for next week. All that being said, though, I can say this with the foresight of having filmed everything prior to this. We have a very, very exciting and fun episode ready for you. Stay tuned throughout the whole thing.
Please do,
fun conversations, very enlightening. I think you'll find it very enlightening. So we learned a lot about each other and the world.
Yeah,
and that's the most you can really ask for.
But yeah, you know what? It happens.
Okay, so again, thank you so much for being here, and
hope you enjoy the rest of it.
Hope you enjoy the story spotlight and our discussion.
Yeah,
thank you.
Bye.
So here for today's story spotlight, we have Grace Powell, who is the assistant features editor, and today we're going to be asking her a few questions about an article she wrote for this week, which is titled "Fast Food Restaurants Should Stop Promoting Tips." So the first thing I want to ask you, Grace, is just what was your general inspiration behind writing this article, and why do you think it is an important or kind of newsworthy thing to cover?
Yeah, so honestly, I wrote the article for my media writing class, where the assignment was to write an op-ed, and we studied on what an op-ed really is and what it should focus on. And my professor, Dr. Travis, really put an emphasis on making it timely and making it relatable. And I think it was just like right after that class, I went somewhere and got something to eat. And so just a tip on one of those iPad digital checkout systems. And so I just wanted to do that one because I felt it was timely and relatable.
Yeah. I mean, I think it definitely fits both of those criteria. I mean, right on, like timely and relatable. I mean, yeah, because you write here in your article about how this is something that's new post-pandemic, really. And when you think about it, I mean, that really is when the transition happened. And it's happened slowly and over time. So I think for that reason, people aren't very aware of it. They don't discuss it as much as maybe it warrants. But yeah, I mean, super relatable. I mean, every place that you go to nowadays, I mean, it's gotten to a point where, yeah, you're being asked to tip 20, 25, 30%. And that for that reason, I think it is a very, very interesting article subject. And I think it encourages a lot of very interesting discussion about this. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not like it's just servers anymore. It's more broad than that. It's cashiers. It's, I don't know, even like something is putting your order in. They like everything gets a tip now. Yeah. And it's all on the same like spectrum in the sense of like serving, oh, it's 10, 15, 20, and then for cashier it's still 10, 15, 20. Like it's for the different jobs but the same tipping system. It feels kind of strange.
Yeah. And I was a little tentative to start writing the article because I thought that it could come off as anti-worker, anti-cashier, anti-server. But I was a cashier and I never got tipped for it, and I don't think that it was necessary to tip for it. I think it's kind of a way to get an extra $1 out of people.
Yeah, and there was always like the tip jar. Like it was always an option. Like if you had spare change, might as well put it in, be nice. But like now it's like, okay, wait, I have my options. I need to choose one of these 3. Yeah. Otherwise I'm being mean. But it's like, no, it was 4 years ago, that was just normal to not tip for a cashier. Yeah.
And I know you spoke a little bit in your article about how these kind of came to be, these kind of tipping stations, the iPads, as they most often are. If you could just speak on, from your research and your experience, what really was the origin of these and why they have become so widespread.
Yeah, so these, like the digital checkout systems, they started during the pandemic to lessen contact with money. Because when you're dealing with money, just in any context, it has a lot of germs because everyone's touching it and you can't clean it. So started during the pandemic to keep those germs away. And then from there, it's just kind of never went away and just became really widespread. I mean, you barely see a tipping jar anymore. It's really the only way to tip now.
It's more convenient, too.
Yeah.
It is. And I think that part at the end is kind of the only part where you're like, it's just so different. Like, oh, it's so easy. I'll just click this and that, pay. Oh, wait, now I have to put in a tip. Mm-hmm. And for something, sometimes it's like, who am I even tipping? Like, if it's just a kiosk and you're putting in a tip, I wonder if it's going to the cooks, the owner, the business. I don't know.
Yeah.
But except for when the person's right in front of you.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes kind of awkward.
Yeah.
I think to me it's funny thinking about it because to me it's funny and interesting to think about because when you stop and kind of think about where you find these tipping systems, they're kind of in the exact opposite of the places that they should be. And I'm thinking like, because when you go to a sit-down restaurant, a nice sit-down restaurant, they don't come up to you with the iPad and you can choose your tip there. I mean, that would be great because that's where we're used to tipping, and that's where everybody does tip. But like it's made so simple and it's enforced in these places where it never has been before. I think it's kind of turned that whole kind of idea of getting a quick meal or a quick drink on its head. And I think one of my favorite terms in the story here is tipflation, which it was the first time that I had heard of it. And if you could just kind of take a moment to explain where that term comes from, what it means.
Yeah. So I first heard of it doing this research for this article, and it's basically just mixing the words tipping and inflation. And with the pandemic, there was already, as we know, a lot of inflation just in prices for everything. And with that came tipflation, where now you're expected to tip at least 20%. Before 20%, I feel was like a good tip, like decent, you did a good job to deserve that. Now it's like, if you don't tip 20%, what did they do wrong? Why are you doing that? What's up? Like, yeah.
It's different too for jobs that like, okay, like if you're a server, like you live off your tips. Yeah. Like that's an essential, but for like cashier and stuff like that, they have a salary. Like their salary didn't change. Now there's a tipping option, like, as far as I'm concerned. But like, it's so different now. Like you're giving people a tip just for doing their job and not like, oh, because they need it because they're living off of it. It's just so different.
Totally.
Yeah, and just to reiterate, like the main point of this conversation here is like not to be anti-cashier or anti-worker or anything like that. Like, I think the main idea that we all take away from this is that if these companies want their workers to earn more money, they should pay them more money. Like that cost should not be passed along to us, because that really does create a situation like tipflation, like you're describing, where in addition to kind of the inflation that we've seen, which has been getting better recently for sure, but like it's still a factor. Things are more expensive now than they were 4 years ago. And it's a double whammy too, because on top of that, you do have the expectation that you're going to tip 15, 20, 25% for things that you just simply were not expected or asked to tip for 4 years ago. And I know that for me, I take that kind of into consideration when I'm asking myself, like, what I want for lunch or what I want for dinner. So, like, do you kind of take that into consideration when you're going through options in your mind? Like, is tipflation a thing that's there?
Absolutely. I would say that I'm always looking to get the cheapest thing possible.
Yeah.
I'm a total cheapskate. And I do feel like the most times that I've encountered the tipping, like turn around on the screen and it's at a cashier place, it's at those coffee shops. And I do not click a tip, and I just want my coffee because that's how it was 4 years ago, and I just feel like a little disappointed whenever that happens because I'm like, I've been going to this place forever, and now all of a sudden I'm expected to tip.
It's also tough when you're a college student. Like, obviously, there's a term like a broke college student. Like, you don't have the money for all this stuff, so you're gonna look for the cheapest things, and now also being expected to tip on top of that for things we weren't regularly supposed to tip for. It's just more money, and it gets it's like a guilt trip thing. It's kind of stressful.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think like the guilt trip idea for me is kind of a big part of it, because even if it's a situation, and I know some places do this where the worker will like turn it away from them and they'll put it towards you. I've often, and I'm sure that you guys have found yourself in this situation too, I've often found myself where the worker isn't seeing it, but there's a line of people behind me that are seeing what I choose. So it's like, well, I don't want to be like the one a-hole in this line who clicks no tip. And it's like, in reality, a lot of people are probably doing that, right? But it's just like the subconscious thing. It's like, I don't want to be that guy. If these people are going to tip, I don't want to be the one that they're looking at. It's like, wow, that guy. That real cheapskate up there. And it's like, I'm a college student. I'm not, like, again, like Sam said, like, nobody in this room right now is like rolling in dough. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not the way that it is. But, yeah, like the social part of it is really interesting to me. Like what is your take on the kind of social pressure aspect of it?
Oh, I would say that I definitely felt a lot more guilty for it. Just 2 years ago when it was really it was still kind of coming up and getting more widespread then. But kind of what you said with the like people behind you in line seeing, I honestly never even like thought of that until just now. Like, there's all these things that we're all feeling that we're just normalizing kind of, and it's just like there's a line that needs to be drawn. And I would say right now I don't feel as guilty as I used to, because although I do definitely, to avoid people judging me from behind, I'll like click it as fast as I can.
Yeah.
I'll be like, no tip. Okay, next one. Like, but definitely less guilty now. I feel fed up.
Yeah. Also, there's no like expectation for it. Like with a server, okay, like 10 to 20, somewhere in that range, depending on how good they did, you go up. But like with cashiers or stuff like that, it's like, what's the average? What should it be? Because like, I feel like with a restaurant, there's a certain range that you're gonna spend, and they'll know they'll make at least this much. With a cashier, everyone's going there for a different reason.
Yeah.
So it's like, what is the expected amount I'm supposed to tip, or if at all?
Yeah.
So I don't know. When I don't even think about it until I'm there at the cashier. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. Like,
yeah, totally. I don't ever really expect it until I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think about it until I see the option. I'm like, well, I guess I should. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of unfair that, you know, like the consumer and the like employee are being put in a situation where, and I know I kind of touched on this before, but like we're expected to kind of pick up the slack for like what their wages really should be. Because like obviously like, yeah, like these people work hard, like they deal with like slammed businesses like day in, day out. Like, yeah, they should be paid more. But also at the same time, we should not be the ones to like bear the brunt of that. Like, just pay your workers more. And I just don't think that any of this is an issue, because we're kind of being put in like experimental, like social experiments, right? Where it's like, you know, two people like facing off at the cash register, like, how much are you going to tip me? How much do I want to tip you? It's not a fair situation at all. And I think that I think that, yeah, we should be looking to kind of remedy this. And if I could just ask you, like, what do you think a possible solution for this would be, if there is one to you?
Yeah, so just kind of what I touched on a little bit in my article, just about tipping jars. I'm a big fan of tipping jars, just the concept of being able to opt in. And I just feel like from the people I've been around growing up when they were more common, like you would see people put money in them more often. It would be your spare change or the extra dollar you got or something. I don't know how feasible that is anymore with cash really kind of going out. No one really has cash on them anymore. But definitely just keeping a no-tip option just like front and center on that screen would be great.
Yeah, the tip jar works too because tipping is based off performance.
Yes.
Like, it's how you do. And I feel like the time you spend at the cash register is not enough to determine their performance level. Like,
not at all.
It's not. So, like, with the server, it makes sense. Like, you're there for, 40 minutes to an hour?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can, like, very quickly tell, like, their performance and what kind of tip you're going to give them over the whole course of the meal. But with the maybe minute you're at the cash register, just...
Yeah.
That's why the tip jars are so perfect, because it's like, okay, they did their job. They did a good... Here's a little tip.
Yeah.
Like, with the spare change. But, like... I just don't feel like the 10%, 15, and 20% is just, I don't have that time.
Yeah.
I think that's an excellent point, and I had not really thought about that prior. Like, yeah, like an interaction at a cash register lasts like max 30 seconds, maybe. Like the expectation shouldn't be that the consumer is like sitting there like grading the person who's like giving them service, like their professor grading midterms, right? Like it's not enough time, and it's unfair to be like, oh, well, I'm going to give you 25% as opposed to 15%. It's like, it's really, I mean, it's funny, and it's weird that like this is now the expectation like for the consumer. Yeah, I definitely agree with your point about having the no tip option be the default, because like, you know, like the tip jar used to be great because cash used to be much more prevalent. I mean, I know for me, and I guess I'll ask you guys too, like, do you guys carry cash on you at all these days?
I try to carry a little, just to have a little bit on me.
Just like a little bit in my phone case.
But I never have a lot. Never have a lot. If I do, I always just put it in my account. Like, I never like having a lot of cash on me.
Yeah, I don't really ever either. There's never really a spot to put it.
Yeah, because like my point with that, and you guys basically reinforced it, is that like people, even if you are carrying cash, it's not cash like with the purpose of tipping necessarily.
No.
Right? Like, so I do think that, you know, having digital tipping is great. I think we should have that option, but I do just think, I agree with you 100%. The default should just be the way that the default has been forever, which is just like, you know, either skip or no tip. And then, have little buttons at the bottom. Like, if the person was just like the greatest, like, coffee barista ever. Yeah, and you can give them a 15, 20, 25% tip. That's great. That should be there. It should be there. Absolutely. But I think just going back to that default would be great, really, for everyone. I think it would be, assuming that in the situation the workers are being compensated for, you know, the tips that they wouldn't be getting otherwise, because it should just be a part of their wages.
Well, I was gonna thank you so much for coming up. Yeah, it's great.
Thanks for having
great conversation. Me. Hope we can have you on again for a different article. Anything else, man?
No, I just thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for your time. We had a little bit of technical difficulties earlier, so Grace here's a real trooper for us. But just thank you again so much. It's been a great interview. So thank you for your time.
And also, the article name is, was it?
The Tipping Culture is Getting Out of Hand. It's written by Grace Powell, again, the assistant features editor. You can read that at wcuquad.com, and we highly recommend that you do so. It's a very interesting and very well-written article. So thank you again for your time and for writing.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all so much for sticking with us. I think that was an excellent story spotlight. Great conversation, very enlightening. And again, you should go read the article, wcuquad.com, written by Grace Powell. So today, we're going to stick with kind of our fall/autumnal/Halloween-y theme. Before we get to that, I do just want to ask, because I know you and I, Sam, didn't have much time to talk before this, because it's been kind of
it's been a little hectic.
A hectic morning. How has your weekend been up to this point?
It's just been chill.
Chill?
I needed a chill weekend, especially with like, I don't know, this is like kind of I have a midterm this week. I just needed a kind of weekend to relax.
Yeah.
So I haven't had, going into college, I thought like, they made it seem like, oh yeah, there's exams, there's a midterm, and then there's exams and a final. I only have one midterm. I have 5 classes. I only have one midterm.
Yeah, it's especially for like political science for me, like I have a lot of classes where it's just and you'll honestly, so you're an English major, right?
Yeah, English.
Yeah, so you'll probably, I wouldn't be surprised if you find it to be the same, where instead of midterms or finals, you have a lot of essays.
Yeah, it's
especially once you get to your higher level stuff.
Yeah, it's either like exam based, project based, or there's a midterm.
Yeah.
But even the midterm ones, it's mostly just exam based. It's just an exam that's called the midterm.
Yeah. And honestly, I know it's like a very personal preference thing. I vastly do kind of prefer an essay to an exam.
Yes.
Just
because that's something you get to work on over time.
Yeah.
Like an essay, a test, you have one try.
Yeah.
And if you mess up, you're done.
Yeah.
But with the essay, you get to at least like put a lot of work into it and say like that was the best I could do.
Yeah.
With the test, sometimes it's like you could have done better. You just need a little more time.
And I think for that purpose, I think an essay usually is. I mean, in my mind, it's a better tool of like measuring actually your knowledge.
Yeah, I was gonna say it measures your like actual knowledge of the skill. Yeah.
And like we understand that in 2024 you can Google stuff and that's great.
Yeah.
But like I think it's kind of gotten to a point where especially your professors, they're gonna know if you're just like regurgitating Google articles.
Yeah, they'll know.
They for sure know, and they especially know if it's AI, which
I feel like I've never used AI for an essay. I've known people who have. They always get caught.
Yeah, because the thing is with AI is that AI is an awful writer.
It is.
It's so bad. I like. There are some purposes that are like, okay, if you want to use it to brainstorm, I guess, but also probably just use your brain for that, probably. Yeah. But yeah, every time I read something, and it's not just AI. Okay, this is kind of different, but I do just want to touch on this because this is I hate AI art, like like physical AI art. I see it all over the place, and it just makes me mad. Like,
I like that it's used more for like just internet jokes than it is taken seriously though.
I think in the context of jokes, it's like, okay, fine, who cares?
Yeah.
But like, I see a lot of accounts that are like reposting these things, presenting them as like art, and it's like, no, you just typed in words and it made that for you. That's not.
Well, I've always been I used to be big in like wanting to write movies, and I was super big into screenwriting. And around that time is when the writer strike was happening in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because of their like, they made it like allowed to use AI for stuff.
Yeah, that was big. Yeah,
it was a huge deal, and I was like, I remember sitting there being like, no, like, I was like so baffled.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about using AI.
It is baffling, and because it's funny you mentioned that because I wrote an article about that when it was happening last year. Yeah, it's just I think it's kind of, it shows you the two different worlds that like people like us and like executives live in.
Yeah,
because for the executives at the top, they don't care about the artistic integrity
as long
of
as
it.
it's words on a page.
As long, not even words on a page necessarily. I think as long as it's something that's going to make them money, I don't think they care at all.
Yeah.
I think that's the main lesson to learn from just like not even the entertainment industry, but just a whole lot of things that have been happening recently. Yeah, we won't get into specifics, but yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I kind of going back to this weekend. I actually need some relax. I mean, the weekend's still. I still have today. Today's Sunday when we're filming, but
yeah.
After this, I'm just gonna relax.
Oh yeah, for sure. Watch some football maybe.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta make sure my fantasy team's doing good.
My fantasy team. I'm not talking about my fantasy team, man. I don't. It's not going good.
Wait, okay. Real quick, do you prefer? Do you know Superflex?
2 flexes, right?
Yeah, it's like
Or you can use a QB too.
You can use a QB.
Yeah.
I way prefer. I love Superflex.
I've never played in a league like that. I have not.
I think it's so much. I like having 2 quarterbacks.
You like having 2 quarterbacks?
I like having 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about what is it? I can't remember. What position is Travis Kelce?
Oh, tight end.
Tight end. That's what I thought. I know nothing about tight ends, so it's like I'm trying to figure out tight ends. I'm like, I don't know any of these guys.
I guess just for the sake of entertainment, full disclosure. So my one team in my family league is 2-2, which is like, okay, whatever. I am 1-3 in my friend league, which.
Do you have a punishment?
Not right now, and I hope that it stays that way. But
when did you start doing fantasy?
I started doing it. I think my first year was 2 or 3 years ago.
I started last year for the first time.
Yeah.
I actually did pretty well for my first time. I also brought we all got together as friends to do the draft.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was doing. I brought I printed out who's the top picks. I didn't know I use Sleeper.
Yeah, we use that too.
Yeah, and I didn't know it had a thing where it told you who the best people were. So I brought a packet because I know before that I knew nothing about football.
So basically, you showed up to your draft like an actual NFL general manager.
I did. Yeah,
that's good.
And you know what? I didn't lose. We had a punishment last year though. We had it's called the 4-for-4 mile.
Mm-hmm. So
you had to get a Wendy's 4-for-4, which is like it's a cheeseburger, 4-piece nugget, small fry, and a small Frosty, and you have to run a mile while eating everything. So every quarter mile you have to eat a new while you can't stop and eat. You have to eat while you're going.
And the person that lost actually did this?
Yeah, they did. Well, they pushed it off for so long. We did it during the Super Bowl. They got the stuff during halftime and they let it sit out.
Why would they do that?
Just to punish the kid.
Okay.
And then so he had to by the time he got to it, it was like a warm chocolate Frosty that was basically just drink. He had drank it right away as he was running, and then it was that was fun.
Did he at least save the Frosty for last?
He drank it first. He wanted to get that out of the way. I think he did Frosty, nuggets, fries, burger.
Frosty, nuggets, fries, burger.
It took him I think it took him 21 minutes.
That might be the exact opposite order in which I would choose to do that, if I'm being honest. And also, I'm lactose intolerant, that not to I still have dairy and stuff, but just if I were to have it under that circumstance, I would probably vomit. That's the
thing. I think he was thinking so if I get rid of the Frosty first, I think because he knew if he had the Frosty last, that'd be the most difficult. Like a burger's just a burger, you can eat that down, but if you have to drink entire small and drink is the right word. It's not like a spoon. It was so melted down at that point. Yeah, you had to drink it. Mm-hmm. I ran with him the whole time, recording him.
I mean, the moral support probably meant a lot to him. Yeah. So, you were recording it, so it wasn't entirely.
He did actually. He did go when he went home. He did throw up. I forget. Yeah. So
that's unsurprising.
Did you see anyone ever do the milk mile?
Just basically drinking a gallon of milk while you run a mile. I've heard of it. Yeah.
One kid did it in my high school, and he got in a lot of trouble because he did it on our track field. Mm-hmm. And you can't do it without throwing up a few times. So he threw up all over our track field. I think I don't know what the punishment was for him. But he got
God! I was a swimmer in high school. Mm-hmm. And it's I didn't take it as seriously as I should have, right? Yeah. And I had some people that were annoyed at me for that, for sure. But I kind of. I was a high schooler, so yeah. I was a little twerp kind of, and I took a little pride in it. Yeah. So before meet one day, we had an Acme kind of close to our school, and there was about an hour of downtime between the end of school and the start of the swim meet. So we went to Acme to just get snacks or whatever. Yeah. And I thought it would be funny to kind of ask my friends do you think I can down this entire half gallon of iced tea and then swim? And nobody was really encouraging me to do it, but I just did it anyways. Yeah. I guess. Because
guys, someone do me, please.
Yeah, exactly. I just didn't take it as seriously as I should have. I really didn't, and I admit that now. But I drank that entire half gallon of iced tea before a swim meet. And at a swim meet you have 3 or 4 events, so it's not like you're just doing one. Yeah, I sucked that day. It was really bad.
Did you throw up?
No, I didn't throw up, but I just I felt like a balloon trying to swim. I was just I felt so bloated trying to swim with a half gallon of iced tea in my stomach. So it makes sense. But
dude, oh my god! While you were saying that, I bit my nail and I forgot this morning. I applied that nail polish that makes your nails taste bad. Mm-hmm. Because I've been.
Yeah.
I bite my nails so bad.
You bite your nails?
Oh my god! Yeah. It's been so. I've been trying to put this nail polish on for a few months now.
Yeah.
And so I'll apply it. I'll try to bite my nails. It'll taste bad, and then it's kind of like a thing. You look at your nose okay, I can't. Mm-hmm. And then you forget to do it one day, and that day it doesn't matter anymore. You just go right through them again. I might just have to start applying every day in the morning. Yeah. I think I'm just to keep a rhythm.
I'm I'm not a nail biter, but I'm a leg shaker. That's me. Yeah. So
I'm not. Whenever I mention I bite my nose, people are I grind my teeth.
I've never done that.
I don't think I do.
That's a weird thing to me. I don't like to think about the way that would feel.
Dude, yeah. No, yeah. Don't like that. But how was your weekend?
My weekend was mixed. So I went to a concert on Friday night up in New York City, which was awesome. Bleachers, listen to them if you check them out if you're unaware. Awesome music, and the concert was awesome. It was great. It was at Madison Square Garden. Mm-hmm. New York City, a little bit too much for me, too chaotic, but nice place. Sure. The reason I say it's mixed is because the Phillies had one of the worst, most atrocious. They should be disappointed in themselves immensely for the game that was played last night.
I was watching it. I'm not a big baseball guy, but I watched it until like maybe the 7th inning, and we were like, all right, it probably will stay the same score. We'll go out and eat. So we went out to Chick-fil-A, and one of my guys was checking on his phone. He goes, "Yo, we're down 4-1." And I was like, "Oh no!"
And it didn't stop there either. That's the best part.
What was the end of the score?
I believe it was 6-1.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Because they took out Wheeler. Wasn't it?
So, and I know a lot of people listening probably aren't, baseball's more one of the more niche sports. So basically, just like Zach Wheeler pitched 7 innings, 111 pitches, and he didn't allow a single run, which is like one of maybe the greatest playoff pitching performance ever. Maybe I don't know.
It's gotta be up there.
And the Phillies found a way to lose. So,
What's the record right now? Like, what's for the playoff?
That was the first game.
That was
so
the first game.
The season's over though.
It's over. It's over. Wait, there's another game at 4, right?
It's first to 3.
First to 3, yeah.
First to 3. So.
Wait, the game is at 4.
At 4 o'clock. That's what you said. Yeah. No, it's at 4 o'clock. It's at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, a fun concert on Friday. Devastating loss yesterday. So all in all, mixed.
Yeah. How much is like I mean, I don't know. Like Bleachers is like kind of like it's more of like a alternative. How popular is it?
I would say so. They sold out Madison Square Garden.
Wow, that's
so
crazy.
I would say that probably speaks a little bit about their popularity.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I mean, they're no Taylor Swift, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So I know most people probably are unaware. But like, seriously, if you like alternative primarily, but it's kind of like rocky a little bit, like alternative rock, I'd probably characterize it as.
How much were tickets?
We had pretty good tickets, and they were $90.
That's not bad.
Not bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I have some friends who were thinking about going to see an Oasis.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
They were gonna check the tickets. They never did, but I'm like wondering. I was like, if it's a good price, I'll go.
Yeah.
Anything
it
above
wasn't.
like I don't know. I'm still waiting to hear.
Oh,
back,
okay, yeah.
But like I'm worried because I'm like, what's even the good price for a concert ticket anymore? Because I know it used to be not that. I mean, back before it used to be not that much. I don't believe. But
no, yeah.
What was the whole Nirvana thing? I don't know if you've seen that clip of Nirvana. They're like, I think they sold the tickets for like $15 or something like that. And they were
I did not see that.
Yeah, they were like, we were thinking about selling them for 20 and milking it. And because like apparently Madonna sold her tickets for like $50 or something like that, and they sold them like for 15 or 20 or something.
Wow, yeah.
But now it's like the average. If you're going to a concert, you're expected to pay in the hundreds.
Yeah. So I've heard too that Ticketmaster is like the worst ever. So like honestly, like the actual process of purchasing the tickets, that was my girlfriend. So shout out to her because when I get faced with stuff like that, I kind of just quit.
It makes me angry.
It makes me
it's
like it makes me like anxious. It makes me like a little bit peeved. You know, I don't
because they're running out. Like when you especially for a concert, there's only so many seats.
Yeah.
And so that is like the most scary thing. That and like buying movie tickets. Movie tickets is not so much anymore because it's like barely anyone goes to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember like when a new like Marvel movie came out, getting on top of that was like crazy.
Oh yeah. Like whole theaters would sell out, and you're right because I haven't seen that happen in years. I don't think I haven't seen the theater sell out.
The last time I was in a theater that like actually sold out was No Way Home.
Probably the same for me actually.
That was such a cool experience. Yeah. I was a fan of Marvel when Infinity War Endgame came out, but I wasn't like very much into it. So I saw them in theaters, but it wasn't like a big experience for me.
Yeah.
No Way Home was. Because I saw the Spider-Man movies as a kid.
Yes.
And I grew up with them, and then saw this one where they all kind of came together. So many, and like that was in a theater where everyone was like screaming. Like everyone was like, as soon as someone came on screen, like everyone was yelling, getting out of their chairs, and I was like, that was such a wow. I've never experienced anything like that.
And I do wonder if we're ever going to have another theater experience like that, because I feel like it's pretty clear at this point that Marvel's on its way out.
Yeah, Marvel is.
Not that I'm dancing on its grave or anything. I loved Marvel as much as the next guy back when they were putting out their hits. But I feel like you got to recognize reality. And
and the thing is, it's like I would kind of be like interested, like just say like Marvel comes back and they're making good movies and it's making a lot of money again. I don't even know if I'd want to watch all that stuff to get back into it. There's just too much now.
Yeah,
it's oversaturated.
It really is, and like we shouldn't get too deep into this because this is great stuff for like another conversation.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
But like you are right though, like the TV shows, like all the movies with like lesser characters that people might not be so inclined to see, and the expectation that maybe not that you have to, but maybe more so that you should see everything if you want to like know the full story. That's turned a lot of people off. It's turned me off. I can tell you like right at the offset. And again, like I love Marvel just as much as the next guy, but like it's too much.
But I think it's bound to happen again, where we're gonna have a big theater experience like that again.
I
There's
hope
gonna
so.
be a next
I hope
big
so.
crave. Who knows? Maybe with the DCU, I don't know. I'm not extremely excited for that. I love James Gunn.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's actually a good
Love
point. James Gunn. Yeah,
But I don't know. I'm just not really big into DC stuff.
Okay, here's I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. If there's a single person that can turn that around, I think James Gunn. James Gunn's a great person for that because his Guardians of the Galaxy movies, amazing.
Oh, great. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. But his Superman movie coming out next year, I actually am very much looking forward to.
I'm excited for it.
I think it's going to be great.
I hope it's great.
Yeah, because I think it's looking to be more of just kind of like a comic-y take on Superman. Not because I don't read comics, but I'm aware of kind of like some of the lore going on there.
And I was worried when he said I remember you talking about like he's already gonna be Superman. Like it's not gonna be an origin. And
yeah, that's important.
That scared me. At first I was like, well, I don't know, like that's kind of weird. But then I saw the Batman, and I was like, all right, we don't need an origin. Like let's just get right into this. Like
the Batman was amazing because it's total and complete. There's not like an hour and a half of the movie where it's like, oh, my parents died.
Yeah,
which is like, yeah.
And that's I remember that. I mean, like people talk about with Batman Begins. I like Batman Begins. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I have not actually.
Like the Dark Knight trilogy one, and that one is a really good movie. I like, but the first like while is spent with him like becoming Batman and getting to him. It's like, can you just become Batman already? Like,
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, we have solid weekends, I'd say.
I think
I'm
so.
more excited for next weekend with fall break.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, that's actually a good segue because speaking of fall break. We're still sticking with our Halloween/fall theme, like I said before.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be discussing some cryptids, if you have heard of that term before. We thought, some spooky, scary creatures for a spooky, scary month.
Yeah. This was actually kind of fun.
It was very fun.
I remember when we first, you had the idea first, and then we were next to each other, and I kind of opened up my laptop and started looking stuff up, and it became a fun there's so much more than I thought.
There's so much more, yeah.
It's not just Bigfoot.
No, oh my God,
There's
no,
so
it's not just
much
Bigfoot.
more.
Yeah, because humanity has a knack for just coming up with as you'll see, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna list our top 5 kind of lesser known, more unique cryptids. So you'll see throughout the list, but humanity really has a knack for coming up with just some of the funniest, most interesting, just you'll see.
Some of them are just I remember I picked the ones I thought were just barely it's how is this even a cryptid?
Yeah.
I only put one on there that was that's a really popular one because and I have good reason for it because I just love them.
Yeah.
But we can go right into that. Hold on.
Yeah.
If you want to say your number 5 first.
Okay, so I'll start at number
5 and we'll make our way up to number 1.
So my number 5 pick. So specifically, it's the Flatwoods Monster. Did you come across this?
I did not come across the Flatwoods Monster.
Okay, so the Flatwood Monster is, and I'm going to use this as a segue or a bridge into kind of a more general thing.
Okay.
So, but the Flatwood Monster in specific, terrorized the West Virginia. Yeah.
Terrorized.
The people were terrorized, and we should not diminish that because.
Sorry, I'm laughing.
On September 12th, 1952. So a 10-year-old, a 17-year-old, their dog, and their mom saw a streak in the sky which crashed into a nearby farm. They went to check it out, and it was supposedly horribly smelling. It smelled horrible, supposedly, in that area. And what they had come across was, by their account, a 10-foot tall figure who appeared to be a woman with a crested headpiece and a silver metallic dress, right?
Oh my.
And I thought it was funny because the articles that I read about this were the smell that they described as similar to mustard gas.
Oh my God.
So it's I don't I have no idea. I mean, nobody has any idea, but I think the most interesting thing about this is that this was one of the things that triggered the U.S. Air Force to launch their UFO inquiry, which is known as Project Blue Book.
Whoa.
So that's something that I'm not going to get into fully right now, obviously. But like, if UFOs interest you at all, aliens, Google Project Blue Book, super interesting stuff. I had known about it prior, so basically, like the UFO mania of the 1950s and 60s, the U.S. Air Force launched a formal inquiry into it, in which they kind of took it very seriously, and they have a lot of cases in that Blue Book that are still classified as unknown. Now, I'm not using the podcast as a platform to tell you that aliens are definitively real or they're not. But that's what I was kind of getting at. So the Flatwood Monster, kind of funny story there. But at my number 5 spot, I think I'd kind of more so just have aliens in general.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I love aliens. I'm saying it like they're real. They could be, right? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not ready for aliens.
You're not ready. You're saying that like they're on their way.
No, like
no, I know.
If like just say a week from now, like aliens came down, I'd just be so disappointed. Like like we're not ready enough as a society for aliens. We'll get there.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's too like wait till after I'm dead for aliens. Like I do not want to be here for that.
Yeah, so you think that there are just some things in our society that are just holding us back from really being able to like.
I think aliens are gonna mess everything up. I just don't think I'm not into like whole. I like where we're at right now.
Yeah.
AI is like the part that's scary for me with the whole future stuff.
Yeah.
Because you like that was always like guys, AI is gonna take over. But I think it's getting to a point where we're getting too futuristic. I feel like aliens gonna push it over the limit.
Do you just quickly? Do you believe in aliens? If you had to say yes or no.
Yeah. Like the universe is so big. And I guess the coincidence of life is so small, but the universe is so much big. It had to have happened twice.
I have the same exact answer pretty much. I think like I'm not confident that we'll ever find out.
But there can't be that many.
It's got to be somewhere. Oh yeah. No, for sure. Because I don't know. Out there somewhere though.
There's somewhere.
No possible way, unless we're living in a simulation. But that's a different thing.
That's a whole.
But assuming
we're using the quad pod as a platform to put out conspiracy theories.
Stay tuned. A segment after this, we're going to be talking about fraud in the 2020 election. That's
flat Earth. Yeah. So okay, when I did all my research this morning when I woke up, and I like the website I looked at, it put it like into 3 categories. It was like land, air, and sea.
Okay.
I found none in the air category were very interesting because they're all just like flying dragons or flying bat-like creatures.
Very similar. Yeah.
I stuck to much more. I have 4 land ones and 1 sea one.
Okay. So what is your number 5?
My number 5 is the Yeren, which is also called the Chinese Bigfoot.
Okay.
And I chose this one because first off, the image was great, but also because I found out there's more Bigfoot. I think this whole there's like
all over the place.
Like the Bigfoot I know, like it's just the one like walking like this and everything like that. But this one's in China. I feel like no one knows about this one. Like I kind of felt like he was I don't know.
The black sheep of Bigfoot.
Yeah, the black sheep of Big. No one knows. I clicked on it. I was like, it didn't even put him like. I had to click on it, and then it took me to a different website where it was like, he's also known as a Chinese Bigfoot. I was like, this is. I mean, like, why can't he just be like the Bigfoot? Like, I don't know. I felt like he was kind of the underdog, and I wanted to give him a spotlight to shine.
I think I appreciate that. I'm sure that he
would appreciate it.
You know, that all the Yarens. I'm sure that they all appreciate it.
Hopefully.
That's something that I also thought was very interesting. Like they're not to spoil it, but it's somewhere on my list here. I have a Bigfoot-esque creature. It does seem to me like doing research for this. Everywhere on Earth has like a big ape. Just like in the US it's Bigfoot, in China it's the Yeren, like you said. Skunk apes.
Skunk apes. I did come across that.
Orang pendek is one that I found. It's not on my list, but that's like an Indonesian Bigfoot, I believe. So so here's my and again we are pushing conspiracy theories. That's what we're doing here. Here's my theory. So since everywhere on Earth has I'll use Bigfoot because that's what we know here in the U.S. Everybody on Earth has a Bigfoot, like culturally, society, what have you. Everybody has a Bigfoot, which basically means that they had to have existed at some point.
I was thinking about that as you were saying. I was like, man, all these places do have their own Bigfoot.
So like, don't ask an anthropologist, because I'm telling you right now that
I'm the credible
that
source.
I'm the credible source in this. Bigfoot, at least at a time, was real. Very possibly continues to be real. That's not my opinion. That's
just fact.
that is a fact upon the basis of very sound collisions of evidence. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we did the 5-minute Google search.
Yeah. Trust the podcasters who did about an hour of combined research. Yes, do that.
Pushing that. Yeah, I know. I wanted to give him a spotlight to shine. I feel like the Yeren isn't talked about. Maybe he is in China, but not here. And I feel like we need to appreciate other Bigfoots.
Yeah,
the one we're used to.
The whole Bigfoot family.
Yeah, the whole family.
Yeah. Just like giant ape diversity in general.
Of course.
Yeah. Like it's. Because why would you want to focus on only one if there's
so many more.
If there's multiple big hairy apes, why on earth would you only focus on one?
All right, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is kind of a funny one. It's a bit of a historical one. Well, these are all pretty funny actually, but
Historical?
Yeah, historical. So a little bit of background here. So in 1520.
Yeah.
In 1520, Ferdinand Magellan. He sailed around the southern tip of the South American continent, and like the southern region of Chile and Argentina is known as Patagonia. So,
are we still talking about cryptids?
Yes. Just let me get to it. My goodness.
I mean,
30 seconds of backstory is too much for you. Give me some time.
I was learning about Ferdinand. I'm like, when is the cryptid coming in?
So
I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I interrupted.
So what had happened was when they were sailing past Patagonia, and this is so funny for multiple reasons that'll get to. It is his word, his account.
Okay.
That they saw giants.
They saw giants.
Giant human beings. Yes. In Patagonia, and he said that they found a giant on the shore, which was naked and dancing at the boat, and he had apparently told one of his crew members to go and contact it. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, put yourself in the shoes of that crew member.
Oh my God.
Assuming this is a true story, do me a favor, go and check out that dude over there.
Yeah.
That 20-foot dude. Go say hi to him for me.
Oh my God. I'd be scared.
And so supposedly, according to him, they set up shop with them for a few weeks, and they kind of hunted with them and lived with them. But then at the same time, he gets and this is so very 18th century. When was this? It was 1520 actually. I think I said yeah. So this is very. It's textbook 16th century European mindset.
Yeah.
They were living with these people. They were hunting with them. In the end, he decides that he's actually going to kidnap 2 of them and take them back to Europe so he can prove to people that he found giants.
Yeah.
They died.
They died.
Supposedly, yes. That's why there was never any evidence for it, because they died during the passage.
Oh no.
And I just the part of assuming maybe. And so the thing is with this, and I will say the article here, which is from Wired. It makes note that the people who were indigenous to that region actually do have a genetic predisposition to be pretty tall. Oh. So it could just be that this is an exaggeration on their part.
Yeah. Maybe.
So maybe they were just tall people. They weren't necessarily giants. So I will say this, assuming 2 human beings died because of this, that's messed up, and I don't want to make light of that. That's screwed up.
Yeah, that's messed up.
But just the idea that these people, and again it's the 16th century. You could have gone out there, sailed out there, came back and said anything, and people would have believed you.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking, as you're saying, because I was I knew of Ferdinand, and I was like, how had I heard of these giants?
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, so it's kind of a bit of a quirk of history that Ferdinand Magellan fully believed that there were human giants living in southern Patagonia.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I like how you just live with them for a while. And it's all right, I gotta take 2 of these back home.
Yeah, that.
I gotta show the world this.
Like I said, it's the most 16th century European mindset you could ever have.
It's gotta take this back home.
It's man, these people are awesome. I gotta take them back with me. That.
I don't have to ask either. Just take
yeah.
them.
It's ridiculous.
The thing he believes they're so like he says like they're pretty big like people.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how he just kidnapped them.
It
That's
has
the part
that
has to be a full scale operation.
I
not only get one but two.
I think the article kind of said that like and again it's like it's so European, but they were saying like they enamored them with like their various silverware and like metallic like tools and weapons, so they didn't even care when we put the handcuffs on them. It's
God.
It's so aggressively European. It's
insane.
Trail,
like,
yeah.
Reese's Pieces to the ship and put them on, bro. That is interesting though.
Yeah.
Actually, I was you caught me off guard with the history lesson, and then I was like, okay, hold up, let him talk, let him eat. My fourth, this is my 1C. One of the sea creatures is Trunco.
Oh, okay.
This is a like elephant whale hybrid that has a trunk.
Okay.
And I was just looking at the images for this thing. Well, I don't even know how this thing would come to be. That's what kind of intrigued me about it.
Yeah.
Because okay, it's elephant based, obviously. It has a trunk, but it's also in the sea. Like, how did evolution get to this point?
Yeah, these pictures are pretty good. Yeah, that's good stuff.
I was just so and like the thing is threatening. The thing is it's a threatening how could this thing be in the sense of it's not no one else knows about it. It's a cryptid. Mm-hmm. This isn't like a creature you just meet in the sea.
Where does this, if you know through like looking at this, like where does this come from, like culturally or like societally?
Sure. I didn't know. I didn't see where it came from, but I was surprised to see something so like. It's obviously just a mix between two animals. Yeah. And I think that's why I was so interested in this like cryptid research because like a lot of them are just mixes of two animals. Yeah. I saw like Dogman, which is a werewolf. Okay, I was actually intrigued by Dogman, and then it was just a werewolf. Yeah. I have another one of those on here that's Something Man. Mm-hmm. It is so stupid. I put all my really dumb ones on top of this one. I wanted to put a C one on there, and I feel like this one was the most unique. Yeah. A lot of them are just like eels, like big eels. Mm-hmm. Or like a megalodon or something like that. Yeah. Which I actually didn't come across. I guess it's not a cryptid. It was a real thing. But
I feel like Trunco would be friendly.
He seems kind of friendly.
He seems kind of, yeah.
I can imagine being at SeaWorld and being a bunch of friends. Are SeaWorld still around?
I don't think so. Well, actually, I actually don't know.
I didn't know if that like one documentary put them all extinct. What was it called? What was it called?
I don't remember what it's called, Blackfish? But I know exactly what you're referencing to.
It was called Blackfish. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was a good documentary. Remember that? But I feel like Trunco, he'd be very I think he's like to other like other sea creatures, he's like a force to be reckoned with. Mm-hmm. But to us, he'd be friendly.
One of the better names too, I think. Yeah. Because like in my mind, and like I don't know off the top of my head, but like I'm imagining like. In my head, the origin of this is like a 1920s like grifter. It's like, come and see Trunco.
Yeah. Literally. No, it's also like I said, it's not just like something. It's not elephant whale or something like that. It's Trunco. Trunco almost sounds like a name, like that you give an elephant.
Name your kid Trunco. Oh, yeah.
Or your kid.
Trunco Constantine.
Trunco Constantine. Oh.
Check in another 10 years.
Yeah, who knows?
He or she might be kicking around.
But yeah, that was my 4. I felt like he just needed some recognition.
I'm sure that Trunco appreciates that, and I appreciate it because it's a good pick.
What's your number 3?
Number 3. This is one that I feel like if it's not on your list already, it has to be one that maybe you've encountered. Mm-hmm. So at number 3, I have the Mongolian deathworm. Oh, did you not encounter that?
I did not
really?
Encounter this.
So okay, so I have the distinct pleasure of introducing you to the Mongolian deathworm. Then,
oh my God.
So. The name is very self-descriptive
with
this one.
Yeah. Name. Like so, Trunco, it is not. It sounds so friendly.
So Trunco might be friendly, but I can tell you one thing: the Mongolian deathworm is not.
I can imagine.
The Mongolian deathworm is not friendly. It does not. It does not want to do tricks for you.
Oh no.
I think it actually just wants to eat you. So here's what's going on with the Mongolian deathworm.
How big is a Mongolian deathworm?
Accounts differ, and that's the issue when you have elusive creatures like this. Is that some people say up to 20 feet. In some illustrations I'm seeing, it is like seemingly 5,000 feet. It's
20 feet's like the minimum.
20 feet, maybe that's like a baby deathworm.
Oh,
a baby Mongolian deathworm, an MDW, if you will. So, allthat'sinteresting.com describes it as A long sausage-like sandworm, dark red in color, with spikes jutting out both ends of its slithering body. And so supposedly it lives under the sand,
Okay.
and it will come up to prey on humans. And it has like big fangs on, but like this, right? Like
Yeah.
big fangs. And supposedly it can spit like corrosive venom at people.
Oh.
And that to me is indeed very
As
terrifying.
if the being 20-foot worm wasn't enough.
Mhm.
Like it also shoots venom. This reminds me of Tremors. Have you ever seen Tremors?
I haven't, no.
I haven't either, but like, it's like big worm-like creatures. I swear to God, I think I'm right. They're like big sand-like worm creatures.
So I have so in Dune, I think. Have you seen Dune?
Oh, Dune. Yeah, wait, Dune also.
Because I actually haven't seen Dune.
You haven't?
But the article does reference that like in Dune there's a creature in Dune that's like inspired by.
This thing's huge. Yeah,
Yeah.
this thing's like, I don't even know.
So I think whatever that thing
That-
is in Dune, it's inspired by this.
That actually is a good like comparison. It probably is just
Mhm.
like that. Those things are not. Yeah, that's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and I think that another part of this that I just think is really funny. So the article says here, there's a Czech cryptozoologist whose name is Ivan Mackerl, who I don't know if I'm pronouncing. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Who, and again, like I never like. This person went to Mongolia 3 times in 1990, 1992, and 2004.
Oh, this is pretty recent.
He went to Mongolia 3 times to genuinely search for the Mongolian death worm.
Did you find it?
What do you think? If this man found the Mongolian death worm, I think we'd be living in quite a different world.
Yeah, man.
I think to me it's really funny. Like the time gap here is really funny because so he went in 1990. That was his first time. 2 years later, he's like, okay, like I got to try again. Like the first time, like I didn't find it like fair enough. Maybe the second time you go, like you take more people with you, better equipment, go to different places. There is a 12-year time lapse, and then in 2004. This man just thinks again, I have to go back.
I have to
go
Do you
back.
think that like 12 years he was building up funding again to go okay, so he had the funding for the first one.
Yeah.
Then it took 2 more years. He's like, all right, I just looked in the wrong spots in Mongolia.
I
Give
would
it a shot.
I would love like in my head because you saying that I'm picturing this guy like you know like the Salvation Army people like they're on the corner they have the sign on them and like the bell. I'm imagining this man trying to fundraise for a Mongolian deathworm search expedition, just like on the corner, just like asking.
I almost feel bad for him. I mean, these trips can't be cheap.
No.
Like he put a lot of money on these searches for a crypt
for a Mongolian deathworm.
Hopefully he's doing all right.
Yeah, Ivan, I'll say this, like Ivan, if you want to come on the show, Ivan,
oh my God,
we would love, and I say that in complete earnest. We would love to have you on the show. I would love to hear your accounts of searching for the Mongolian deathworm because
those have had to be such great tales.
Yeah, because I'll tell you one thing too. This is kind of related. I would love to go to Mongolia.
Oh my God, dude,
I would love
going on an expedition with Ivan.
Oh my God, yes,
please,
yes,
please, Ivan.
That would make
fun.
So how about this? With or without Ivan, I think this is good. So after this podcast, I think what we should do, like after the recording of this podcast right now, I think we should go out there. And the editor-in-chief and the faculty advisor are out there right now, I believe. I think we should acquire funding for because we'll write a story about this in the newspaper.
Oh yeah.
For a Mongolian deathworm search expedition.
Oh my God, I think
we will find it.
I think also if we put out enough people out there too, we'll get more people involved in the journey.
Yes.
We can go all around Mongolia trying to find the Mongolian deathworm.
No, you're right. Like, just get the entire staff involved.
Oh my God.
So we're just a group of like 20, 30 people just like roaming the Mongolian steppe, searching for the Mongolian
deathworm. Put on the quad credit card. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure that we have the. I'm sure that
the budget can the budget.
I'm sure we have the credit line to go on a 20-person expedition to Mongolia to search for a deathworm.
All we need is one. All we need is one deathworm.
Just one, and it would change everything.
It would change
everything. You got to think about it
guys,
that way.
Please help. Help us fund.
Connor, when you're editing this, put the link here. That is quadmongoliandeathwormexpedition.com, and you can make a donation.
Just give us your money.
And we're gonna make the best content out there,
God.
and we will find
We'll
it.
do an episode.
We will find it. We will do a podcast episode from the Mongolian steppe. Maybe we can have Ivan on, or maybe we could even have the Mongolian deathworm on the podcast.
You know what? I'd love to hear how he stayed so elusive all these years.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to my third. Now this one is the one where it's like everyone knows this one. But it's because I think he's such an opposite to Bigfoot in all the videos I've seen. And I'm going to the Yeti.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeti.
I like that. I like that.
I like the winter theme he has going on. The Yeti's also just like in a lot of things. You know, like,
In a lot of things. Explain that. I'm just curious.
like with movies. I don't know. Like what's the one in the? I think I'm also confusing him with the Abominable.
Abominable snowman.
Snowman.
It's a tough word to say. Yeah.
But they're very similar. I feel like.
I think they mostly. They're not the same, but they are very similar. Yeah.
You know what? Because like I feel like the Yeti creature, like in Monsters Inc. even.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I guess that is the Abominable. No, I might be changing my answer to. I can't even say it, but what is it? The Abominable.
Abominable snowman.
Abominable.
Yeah.
Abominable snowman. Because that one's been all around.
Mm-hmm.
Also, in any videos, he's always moving around a lot. I've seen videos of him doing all sorts of stuff. He's not just walking like Bigfoot is. He's jolly. He's going all around.
He's jolly.
And I feel like that's someone I'd be interested in seeing how he lives going around so quickly in life.
Yeah. So, I am just out of curiosity, like what videos are you watching where people have footage of the Yeti? Just
I have seen a video once or twice, and it's moving so quickly. It's not just like I feel like the Bigfoot, he's taking his time, and he's going.
it certainly seems that way.
It certainly does. And
Like he's
I
got
feel
nowhere
like,
to be.
I feel like the Yeti or I see Abominable Snowman. He's going all around. He likes being seen. You know, Bigfoot's not in very many like movies, media, anything. Abominable Snowman, Yeti, all around.
So you think that is the defining difference between Bigfoot and Yeti? You think that the Yeti is kind of like the Yeti likes the cameras. The
Yeti loves the cameras.
Likes
I
the
think.
attention.
And I kind of like that about him. Bigfoot, okay, look, dude, just get in a camera already. Like, stop being so blurry. Like, Yeti, Abominable Snowman, they know what they're doing. They know how to grab the audience right where they want them.
Yeah.
To not like fully reveal themselves, but say, hey, I might be here.
Yeah.
Find me.
I think that the Yeti has an additional fear factor too, just because of the situation in which you would encounter a Yeti. Because if you think about it, Bigfoot, like, you know, you're in the woods of like Washington State and you see Bigfoot, you know, big deal. You know, you can go to Starbucks afterwards and
you'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah. If you see a Yeti though, you're in the Himalayas.
You're deep in there, yeah.
And you're probably in 2 feet of snow and it's probably blizzarding as you speak. And that Yeti, like, what do you think the intentions of the Yeti are?
Think about it. The Yeti, like, besides like his a few appearances in the camera where he's moving around, he doesn't see a lot of people out there. He's definitely gonna come up to you.
And do what though? That's
the scary part. That's the scary. I think it depends on the Yeti. Or the
depends
Yeti.
on the Yeti.
Some of them will be like kind of friendly.
Do you think so? Okay, so yeah, so I was wondering, like, so do you think if we also do an expedition to the Himalayas, could we get one on the podcast?
Oh, that one I think would be easier to get on the podcast.
You think so?
Yeah. Because okay, like with the Mongolian death worm, that's all of Mongolia. Think about it. It could be
and
anywhere.
it's a big country.
But the Mongolian death worm is bigger than the Yeti.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Yetis are pretty tall. But the Yeti, we know where the mountain region it should be in.
The Himalayas.
The Himalayas.
Yeah.
And I think if we're smart enough, we could pinpoint his. I think we've talked to the locals in the area. They'll point and be like up there.
Yeah.
So we're just like, we'll go up there and we'll find him.
Yeah. Get him on the
podcast.
Yeah. I would love to hear what he has to say.
Everything after this third one is my like the ones I didn't know existed. But loved.
Okay.
These are ones that like really stuck out to me. But I'll go to this is your second.
This is my number 2.
Your number 2.
This is my number. And this one, honestly, any one of these could have been number 1 because I love all of these.
Okay, that's right.
But this is my number 2. This is where I have it. Let me see. Okay. So at number 2, I have the Rougarou.
The Rougarou.
Have you heard of that?
I have. I remember I did come across this one. I didn't click on it though. I remember
Yeah.
the name.
So the Rougarou, in terms of like what you're imagining in your head, imagine a werewolf because that's basically what it is.
Oh, okay.
But the lore behind it is what I think is very. I love it. So it's it exists within like the Louisiana Cajun culture.
Okay.
And so basically what happens with the Rougarou, so it depends on kind of who you ask because I saw different kind of accounts of this through my research.
Yeah.
So PelicanStateOfMind.com, which is a Louisiana publication. So of course they would know what they're talking about. So they say that the Rougarou, so you can either turn into a Rougarou or be targeted by a Rougarou if, and this is great, you'll love this. So the first one is like, par for the course. If you're a naughty kid, that's one. The second one, if you are a Catholic who does not observe Lent,
Lent?
Yes.
Wait,
then you'll be preyed upon by the Rougarou.
Oh my god.
And I absolutely love that because here's what I was thinking when I was reading this, like this is what religion is missing.
A fear factor.
Because right, if you're already think about this, if you're already opening yourself up to the idea of like supernatural things, kind of like divine things that kind of define natural explanation, why not have werewolves, man? Why not have all that? Like I'm telling you right now, I haven't been to church in quite a while. I don't really too much affiliate with it anymore. Yeah. I'd be going to church every Sunday if they were telling me stories about werewolves and dragons and ape men. I'd be going every week.
If they were like, we cannot guarantee your safety if you don't come. Like the Rougarou.
Oh yeah.
The Rougarou.
The Rougarou. Yeah.
Rougarou might get you.
This is
if you come, we can guarantee your safety.
I love that because you're enforcing it through the threat of violence. It's implicit.
You might be safe.
Like you can choose not to come to church, or I guess observe Lent, because that's what. So I guess the Rougarou is very deeply pious about the practicing of Lent.
Lent. What is Lent? I actually don't know what that is.
I should know, but I don't. But
we're in. I mean, we don't even know what Lent is. We're in the danger zone for the Rougarou.
Yeah. So I guess what I learned from researching this is that I should not step foot in the state of Louisiana.
Oh yeah. I guess it's only in Louisiana. Yeah.
So those are its hunting grounds, and I have learned that I should not go there.
If you do,
yeah.
Go to Lent. Observe Lent.
You have to. Yeah.
Observe Lent.
And I think the other funny thing about this, if you want to deter the Rougarou, you put 13 objects around your house because supposedly, and I don't know exactly why this is, the Rougarou cannot count past 12. So
I thought Friday the 13th unlucky number. No, it's just
they
can't count that high.
And supposedly what happens is because they will for some reason try and count the objects, and they will be confused because they cannot count past 12.
Okay, I feel like that's strange to me because I feel like at very little point do you not have 13 things around you.
13 things. Yeah, but I think it means 13 visible it's like a circle.
Oh, a circle. Okay,
right.
I was
something
if the
that.
Rougarou entered this room right now, I mean,
would
be more than safe.
No, yeah. So
okay, in a circle that makes more sense.
And unfortunately, for all the reasons I just mentioned, I don't believe the Rougarou would be a very willing podcast guest.
No.
And I certainly I certainly do not want to go searching for him. So.
No.
So let's keep raising money for that Mongolian Death Room expedition, though. We're gonna keep doing that. Yeah.
Okay, my second. I was very excited when I saw this name. It intrigued me by the name, and then I was like, okay, where do I go from here? And then I was disappointed, but the disappointment is why I love it.
Okay.
The name is the Moose Man.
The Moose Man.
The Moose Man. Don't know where he's from. I think he goes all around. From what I've read, it looks like he doesn't stick to one specific. It looked like he went all around.
So we could see the Moose Man today. Even.
I believe so. I mean, it didn't sound like he stuck to one region. In no way is he have anything to do with man. There is no man part of it.
There's no man part?
It is just a large moose.
Oh.
It is a abnormally large moose. But the legs... Okay, it's hard to put. If you're listening, it's going to be difficult. But the legs are going almost opposite directions. Mm-hmm. One's going forward, the other one's weirdly going back in the picture I saw.
Yeah.
And all the pictures are just of a moose. And this is what led me to my, the whole, what determines a cryptid? Because it's does it have to be a mix between two things, like the whale and the elephant, or can it just be a large version of any animal? Because this is just a big moose. If we're being it's just a big moose.
So do you have any idea where this originated, or I know you said it just kind of.
I couldn't see. I couldn't find out where it originated. I wasn't sure.
Because that is really funny. Because to me, it could just kind of be Billy Bob went hunting one night and he saw a really big moose.
He's like, yeah, that's the Moose Man.
And it's the Moose Man. Yeah, and again, I love that. I love that mentality where it's you can just say something and people can't question it because they weren't there. Whatever.
And the thing is this isn't if I looked at Moose Man, I saw multiple accounts of the Moose Man. Mm-hmm. So it's Moose Man's. It's not it's just multiple big moose. Mm-hmm. There's one big moose. What's going on? And I remember one of the images it showed to be guys, this is a dangerous creature. Is that it was eating. It was like licking a deer carcass, and I was like, it's just a picture of it. And like, guys, look at what the moose man's doing. And like, I was like, oh, this could. There's no difference between like this could be any moose. What makes this the moose man?
Well, maybe.
Does he feed?
Maybe they asked him. I don't know.
I don't know. It intrigues me because I couldn't tell. Like, it didn't make it seem like he talked. Like if he talked, okay, man, I get it.
Mm-hmm. But there's nothing anthropomorphic
part
about.
Is what really like big moose.
Big moose.
He should have been called Big Moose.
Mega
moose.
moose. Mega moose.
Guys.
So I
But that's what I was when I did my ranking. Like I put like yeah in parentheses Chinese Bigfoot, Trunco elephant ocean monster. For moose man, I just put just a big moose.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he is. But I feel like the moose man, you know, he like no one thinks he's a cryptid, but I feel like he should be acknowledged as one.
I honestly, I feel like the love is deserved.
Yeah.
And I know you like. I love just the implication that it's the moose man.
It's
Like if you see the moose man, it's akin to like seeing like Brad Pitt on the street. Like there's only one.
There's only one.
There's only one, and it's a big deal. If you see the moose man.
You're not gonna forget it.
And maybe like since you said the moose man is kind of like an international kind of traveler.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we can just have the moose man.
If we
come to us.
Yeah, he'll make his way to us.
So okay, I'm gonna defer to the audience here.
Mm-hmm.
If any of you know the moose man, the moose man,
Yeah.
not any other moose men.
No.
The moose man. If you could forward us his email address or if he has a phone number.
Contact information.
Yeah.
And you'll know it's the moose man. You're not. There's no like. Is that the? It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Like yeah, you're not gonna go through that questioning. It's like you're gonna see. It's like that moose is far too big.
Way too big.
That is the moose man.
It has to be the moose man.
So if you see the moose man roaming around,
please let us know.
Let us know. Yeah.
All right, you're number one.
Okay, my number one. I love the lore here. That's why I have it at number one, like the lore behind it.
Oh yeah.
So, I have the rock apes of Vietnam.
Oh.
At number one.
The rock apes.
The rock apes of Vietnam. So, are you familiar, Sam, with the Vietnam War?
I am familiar with the Vietnam War.
Okay, good.
A little bit.
So, when American infantry soldiers went into Vietnam, there are multiple accounts that generally describe the same thing of large, hairy ape men who did not fear humans, who would throw rocks at the American soldiers, and that's how they got their name, rock apes.
The rock apes, okay.
And there was a certain military base in Vietnam that was so known for rock ape sightings and rock ape attacks, quote unquote, by the rocks being thrown, that it became known as Monkey Mountain.
Monkey Mountain?
Yeah. And I'll tell you one thing, like, as horrible as the Vietnam War was, and it had to probably put a smile on your face if you were at Monkey Mountain.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like
well, the thing is, it had to be kind of scary. Almost.
Oh no, yeah,
like,
because
guys, we're going to Monkey Mountain. This ain't no joke.
My favorite part about this is that there is a story that a platoon of U.S. Marines were attacked by rock apes, and that they had to like fight them back. It was like a coordinated attack that they were attacked, and there are also supposedly kind of like myths that are circulated, like, you know, between soldiers and people who were there, that there were Americans who were like torn to pieces by these rock apes. Yeah. And it wasn't the interesting thing about this is that it was not just the Americans. So the Vietnamese were aware of this too. So the NVA actually, under a general, sent out a search party where their objective was to find and like kill a rock ape. They didn't find anything, but it was like they were fully aware of it to the extent that like they sent out a search party for this thing.
But they didn't find them.
They did not find them, and I love like the lore behind this, that like in the midst of the Vietnam War, the idea that there were like
that like both sides had a common enemy of the
sides. Yes, like
they
agreed on nothing else, but just there are these rock apes in the woods that they just were both scared like to death of. I love that idea. It's so funny to me.
That's actually funny.
Yeah.
Guys, we have a common. They should have teamed up. Guys, we have a common threat.
Yeah.
It's the rock apes. They got a Monkey Mountain. That would be. I couldn't imagine being a part of the Vietnam War, not only having to like worry for my life, but then also worried about the rock apes.
Yeah,
coming to attack me.
it's an entire other level of terror. I couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it.
No.
Like, oh, you have to fight in the Vietnam War? All right. Okay, fine,
Yeah.
I'll go. If you make me go to Monkey Mountain, I'm not doing it. My number one. This one, I read a little bit of the story because I just loved it so much. And it's also because it is also my favorite animal. Not the cryptid itself, but like what the cryptid also is. Because it's called the Loveland Frogman.
The Loveland Frog.
I believe it's from Loveland, like the place was called.
Okay.
And it is I've seen different accounts of 3 feet tall or 4 foot tall. I'm pretty sure it's only one of these going on. It is a 4 foot tall frog creature that walks on its hind legs. Mm-hmm. And I'm unaware of what its goal is because they saw it. The story was that they saw it, like the car saw it hop over a 3 foot like fence. Mm-hmm. And they, like on the road, they like went over a barrier. And I saw it was a frog amphibian-like creature. And it just, I love frogs.
Yeah,
love them. Mm-hmm. And so to think that there's a 3 or 4 foot tall one roaming the earth,
and nobody knows what its goal is.
Nobody knows its goal. Where does it have a family? Is it by itself?
Has it? Is it vicious? Does it have ill intent?
I don't think it has ill intent because it like when it saw the car, it like ran away.
Okay. So
I think this thing is just roaming around, and there's in the pictures I've seen, it's always very like almost scared looking, like that's it's like afraid. Mm-hmm. It's like doesn't work. I think it's lost.
It's lost.
I feel like there might be a Loveland Frogman Society, and it got lost and is no longer there.
So he's a frogman who's looking for the frogmen.
Frogmen.
Yeah.
And I love frogs so much. So seeing this, and it's like the picture of it's so great because it like. Because the picture, I don't know if it's the picture like from like when the incident happened when they first saw it, because the picture's very close, but it's like walking kind of like Bigfoot, but it's just a 3 foot tall frog, and it makes me feel so. I love it so much. But that one was the one I was like, okay, out of all these ones, that one deserves the most. That's number one. That's just get rid of Bigfoot, get rid of the Yeti, get rid of the Loch Ness Monster.
The Frogman,
the Loveland Frogman.
And is that like if you could have a conversation with any one of them, you would want to talk to the Frogman?
100%. I want to know what's he doing. Where's he going? Is he lost? I can help him.
Another potential podcast guest. But if he is more mysterious, though, that might be a problem.
Yeah, I would run in and like give him a background check.
Yeah.
I don't think we could though. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Now, want to do the battles?
Yes. So, I can introduce it now.
Yeah, go ahead. Good ranking though. Good rankings.
Yes.
I appreciate your ranking. We didn't have anything. There was a lot of cryptids, so I almost thought we'd have one. So.
I was also expecting that we were going to have at least one overlap, but we didn't.
We didn't.
Which
so many.
I think is the best for entertainment purposes.
But then whoever had the best list or the best ranking.
Yeah.
Let us know who had the best ranking.
Yes.
That was mine. You had so much. Okay. The thing is, you had a lot more research. Mine was very just like. That looks
vibes based.
Mine was very vibe based. Like, yo, what are you up to? Yours was so much lore. I love the lore.
The lore to me is the most important thing.
Oh yeah.
So to cap off our segment here about cryptids, we're gonna play a little game. And for those of you that saw the polls that we put up on the Instagram earlier last week, we asked you who you thought between two options would win in a fight. And for those of you who don't follow us on Instagram, you can do so. We are WCU Quad. On Instagram?
Yeah.
That's what we are.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It probably. It's something like that. But this one we came up with them together, like the verses.
We did, yeah. So these are kind of more for our top 5 list, we were trying to do some more specific, unique, lesser known ones to just be of interest.
Yeah.
These ones are ones that you know. If you didn't see the polls, you will know. You're aware of these ones. We're excited to kind of go through this, and the game aspect of it is Sam and I will be trying to guess which cryptid that you all chose would win the fight.
Yeah, it's not like what we think. Yeah. It's what you guys picked.
We're definitely going to have our personal convictions, and we will make you aware of those.
Yeah.
But we're trying to guess what you all picked.
Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to be quicker about this one than the candy
I think so,
one.
yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll see. But.
Yeah. And here as our game host today, we have Elena here, who's a writer with us, and we're very excited to have her on. So if you want to introduce yourself real quick.
Hi, I'm Elena. I don't really know what I'm supposed to say, so I'm going to say my favorite color is purple.
That's a good choice. That is a good one.
Though. What's your favorite color?
You said same?
Same, yeah.
Well, I can't be unoriginal now because purple is one of my favorite colors. Okay, I'll say
To be different, I can go with maroon.
maroon.
If we're all going different here. But I would have chosen like a light purple.
That's also mine. I like
Yeah.
lilac purple.
Is that your backpack?
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's my, yeah.
Yeah.
I like a forest green.
A forest
I
green
think
is
that's
fair.
That's
nice
a
and
solid
little.
pick, yeah.
Okay. So
All right, let's get right into it then. The first one.
All right, poll time. So on this week's episode of the Quad Pod, which cryptid would win in a 1v1 fight? Bigfoot or Yeti?
I'm going. I feel pretty confident about Yeti.
okay, I was thinking the same thing just because if you look at the conditions in which the Yeti exists,
Mhm.
the Yeti has to deal with things that Bigfoot just doesn't have to.
He has a way more dangerous environment.
Yeah. Like
Also, I mentioned this when I was talking about the Yeti. Is one of my favorites. He's quicker.
he's quick.
He's way quicker. He knows what he's been around. He has to fend. He has to survive. Not that Bigfoot doesn't have his challenges, but
Yeah.
I think Yeti will.
I like that out of all of this, your takeaway is that the Yeti is physically quicker.
I think he is.
Because to me, I'm not gonna argue it, but to me, like, I'm thinking like the Yeti is just tougher, has higher endurance, you know,
yeah,
can withstand. Because like Bigfoot, let's face it, right? I love Bigfoot,
great guy.
great guy. I'm sure. And again, if you want to come on the podcast,
Oh yeah, Bigfoot, Yeti.
Bigfoot, Sasquatch,
What was the death worm?
the death worm, yeah.
Of
Well,
course.
we've made our case of the death worm. The
Oh,
death
yeah.
worm is aware.
Yeah.
I think, and again, I said that I love Bigfoot, but let's be real with ourselves. Bigfoot is the trust fund kid of cryptids.
Yeah.
Bigfoot has had the world handed to it or them.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeti's I think has kind of like been in the slums. He has the harsh winter environments. Not even just like during the winter, all year.
Mhm. Yeah.
And up in the Himalayas.
And media representation just doesn't cover Yeti enough. It just doesn't. Not that
you ever
dictates who's
seen-
going to win in a fight, but
You ever seen Rocky 4?
I actually have not.
Okay, so it's like near the end, it's like Rocky's in like a cabin and
Mhm.
and he's training there.
Yeah.
He's doing it in a harsh winter environment while I forget what whoever he's fighting is in a gym with a
Mhm.
bunch of trainers and everything, but
Yeah.
Rocky still wins.
Mhm.
That's what I'm kind of seeing about this.
Yeah.
Yeti is our Rocky.
Yeah, I agree with that point though, because if you want to train to win a fight and get endurance,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to train in the forests of Washington State where you're a 5-minute walk away from a
Absolutely
Starbucks.
not. Yeah,
You're not going to
no.
do it. You're going to go to the Himalayas. You're going to go to Siberia. You're going to go to where snow goes up to your knees and you can die of the cold in your sleep.
Mhm.
That's where you're going to go.
I agree. I think the only thing maybe Bigfoot has in Yeti is he bigger? I don't know the actual size of the Yeti. I believe Bigfoot has.
Well, it probably varies
on the
Bigfoot to Bigfoot and Yeti
Yeah,
to Yeti.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair.
I think we're on the same page.
Yeah, but do we want to determine a winner off of like percentage wise, like whoever's closer, or just put?
Oh, okay. That's actually a good idea. So
Yeah.
if we're picking the same one,
Yeah.
I think we should pick a percentage, and
Okay.
whoever's closer wins.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
good because I know we're both picking Yeti.
Okay, yeah.
So, what's your answer for that?
I think the Yeti beat the Bigfoot. Like percentage wise, like Bigfoot got this much, Yeti got this much.
Yes.
Bigfoot got 30%, Yeti got 70.
Okay, and that's what I was going to go with initially, but obviously I'm not going to go with
Yeah.
exactly that.
Mhm.
So I'll say, given that that's your guess, I'll probably say that based off popularity alone, I will say, because I still think the Yeti won, obviously, I'll say Yeti got it 60-40.
Okay, that was like my second option.
Okay, yeah. So, Elena,
Elena.
what are the actual poll results? What did the people choose?
So the people chose Bigfoot by 59% and Yeti by 41%.
Okay.
So unfortunately,
We were wrong
The
then.
people
Neither of
did
us-
not.
Yeah.
agree.
That's
Well,
okay.
the people are wrong,
Love
and
the
the
people.
and
Love
that's
the people.
and that's why democracy doesn't work sometimes because
Yeah.
the people are
doesn't
wrong.
work.
Yeah.
That's upsetting.
That is
Because like it was very clear. Yeti. Okay.
Yeti is just think about this from you see the thought that
people
we're
are
putting
wrong
into this.
here.
I just ask you to just care at least a fraction of as much as we do.
Mhm.
That's all I ask of you. Okay.
Put in the
and I
amount of thought.
don't want to talk down to our audience who we appreciate and love so
Love
much,
'em.
but please think about this a little bit more, okay? Please. And I'm not just saying this because I lost. I am, but I'm not.
Yeah. All right. This next one. Next one.
Alrighty, so which cryptid would win in a 1v1 fight? The Jersey Devil versus Mothman.
Ooh.
This is another one. This could go either way.
This could,
So now I'll tell you one thing.
Mhm.
As somebody whose birth certificate says New Jersey at the top,
okay.
I take this very personally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That
I was maybe gonna go somewhere with that, but
you almost. I
yeah,
saw the cogs turning, but no. I'm leaning towards the Jersey Devil.
I am
That's
too.
just
Just
menace. That's a menacing name. That's threatening.
it is.
Whether you're Mothman or anyone, you're gonna be trembling just hearing that name.
Yeah,
Like,
because I mean, both of these are aerial creatures.
they are.
But one has the distinct advantage of being a spawn of the devil.
Yeah.
I mean, Mothman. I'll say this: Mothman, I think, is one of the cooler cryptids. Actually, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion because
It's just a moth.
because
man.
moths on their own,
Mhm.
scary.
They are. Yeah.
Yeah, terrifying actually.
Okay. Well,
Well,
they're scary, but if I
have you
see one,
seen?
then
Okay, like I know the ones we have around us are like this big. I mean, I still find those to be pretty scary. But like, have you seen the moths that they have in like the Amazon rainforest that are like this big?
Okay. Yeah.
and
that's
like
fair.
and like
That's fair.
they're like furry and like insects shouldn't be furry.
Insect.
Let's be so real. Like whatever your belief is in like how this world was created, something went wrong when insects became furry.
I agree, and I think insect. I think it's about its size is really its scare factor, because
Yeah. No, just keep going. I'm sorry.
because if you see a small little butterfly, whatever. If it's quite a big butterfly,
That's so true.
What
It
butterflies are you finding
No,
that are
wait,
bigger
wait.
than a quarter?
No,
Moths,
I've seen a
moths
big
are not
butterfly.
okay. One, moths do not harm anybody, and they're amazing because they actually help the environment.
but
Two, they're not bigger than your hand at any given point in time.
That is false. Actually, can we put a picture up
yeah,
of
put a picture up
of Big Moth? We're gonna
Big
put a
Moth.
picture
Big
up
Moth.
of.
Big
We're gonna
Moth.
You're
put a
just
picture
putting
up.
Mothman up there.
Well, I'm getting to this. I'm getting to this.
You guys are fighting on a dying hill on if
Then-
moths are evil, and you're not even talking about Mothman.
I never made a statement about their morality. Let's get that straight. So I'm just saying that it's incorrect that they are furry. It's incorrect that
There
that
are
is the
many
case.
insects that are furry, not just moths.
Like tarantulas are another one. I don't.
Okay, well, yeah, tarantulas shouldn't be furry.
No, they shouldn't be
They
because
shouldn't be.
they're big enough already.
What do they
It's
need
like-
the fur for?
I don't like the fact that there's like flesh on a tarantula. Like
Bees
it's so
are
big that-
furry.
Okay, well bees are like
These are kind of nice.
bees.
though.
I like bees.
Wait,
I like
what?
bees though.
Then you should like moths too.
But like they're like I don't know what their deal is though because I know what a bee's goal in life is. A bee wants to pollinate because like you've seen
Spread the honey.
Bee Movie, right?
I
Haven't we
have.
all?
That's what they're
It's a
about.
beautiful movie.
Yeah, that's what they're about, right? Their mission is to pollinate the flowers.
Yeah.
I don't know what the mission of the moths are.
Yeah.
And I don't get down with them because of that.
What's their goal?
They like light, but why?
What
But
is it
why,
about
though?
the light? I mean, there's
I-
got to be a science behind it.
There has to be. Not one that I care to find out about because I just don't like them.
I don't like them either.
How do you not
Yeah.
like moths? They're so cute.
No.
Yes.
No.
No. Okay, we haven't even talked about the Jersey Devil.
The Jersey Devil. So the Jersey Devil, as far as I'm aware, is a humanoid goat man with wings and hooves,
That's what I was aware of.
and who is, you could presume, comes from hell.
Hell itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
That I mean, like, okay, we're talking about all this like bad stuff about the moth, but actually that works out in its favor in a battle.
I mean, in a battle against me, yes, because I'd be scared. But like the Jersey Devil isn't gonna be.
You don't think? I mean, not even a little bit.
No, he comes from hell.
He does come from hell.
So like he's seen like Osama bin Laden and like Ronald Reagan and all those people that are down there with
Saddam
him.
Hussein. He's seen
So
them all.
yeah, he's seen all of them. Like he knows the bottom of the barrel, and he's not going to be afraid by a man who is also a moth. Like again, I would be. Like the Mothman would beat me in a fight, but we're not.
Well, don't sell yourself too short.
You're saying a little bug will beat you in a fight because it likes
Moth-
the moon.
I mean,
Moth-
if you
well,
give
how big is moth?
if you give me a
I'm
gun, I
assuming.
would shoot him. But I don't. I'm assuming that this is like fisticuffs, like
Oh,
brass.
yeah.
You're not fighting him.
Okay. Oh, that's actually. Thank you for keeping us on track.
So okay, what are you picking? What do you like? This comes down to brass tacks. What are we picking here? What are you picking? I guess off the man.
I got to get in the mind of the common folk.
Yeah. Okay. I love the first one we talked like, okay, this isn't what we think. It's what you guys think, and
Yeah.
we immediately went with we
Yeah.
think the Yeti's gonna win.
Okay. The people, I'm telling you right now, the people definitely pick Jersey Devil. And I'm not even saying that that's wrong, but I am also saying that they definitely pick Jersey Devil.
I'm thinking the same thing.
And I'm going to be bold. I'm going to say that the Jersey Devil won it 80-20.
80-20.
I'm going to be bold and say that 80-20.
Okay, I think Mothman is something that people can go like, oh, I know them. Mothman is very simplistic. Moth and man put together.
Mm-hmm.
The Jersey Devil, I think some people are gonna be lost. What even is the Jersey Devil?
We live in southeastern Pennsylvania. I feel like people know what the Jersey Devil is.
Maybe I'm going off my own experience here, which I shouldn't because I'm talking to people. But I did not know of the Jersey Devil before this episode.
Well,
I've heard its name, but never.
So it's
knew
kind of
what
like
it
Jim
was.
Belushi.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
like
I don't know what he does, but I know that he exists.
I think it existed.
I
Oh,
don't
he's
know
dead?
who that is.
Oh,
I'm thinking of John Belushi.
I'm sorry, Jim. Wait, there's two of them?
I mean,
Okay.
well,
What percentage do you think it's gonna be, Sam?
I'm going 65, 35.
Jersey
In
Devil.
favor of...
In favor of the Jersey Devil.
All right. So the Jersey Devil lost by it's at 44%. Mothman won at 56%, and I'm happy because I love Mothman. He's my favorite.
He's your favorite?
Yeah.
Mothman has like the coolest lore behind him.
We need to.
That's why he's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah.
Have you read some of the comics?
Oh, comics?
Mothman
I,
has comics?
I'm not
He
aware
has
of the
comics.
comics.
You knew all this lore about Mothman and didn't choose to say it when.
No. I mean
He
lore.
does, he has comics.
So wait. So is he comics in what universe? Is he?
I don't remember. I remember reading them when I was a kid, and I loved
Like,
and
does
I
he go up
loved
against
him.
Superman? Because if I knew that, I would.
Because I'm not. I don't know him as
He
a
shows up in
superhero.
Teen Titans Go.
That would have
No.
changed everything for me.
That would have changed everything for you.
He can go up against the Teen Titans. I don't know if the Jersey Devil.
Okay, was he working with or against Teen Titans? Can we fact check this?
Oh yeah.
It was both.
It was.
depended on the
He's an
episode.
anti-hero.
Wow.
But yeah, here's some of the comics.
Everybody loves
Oh
an
my.
anti-hero.
Okay.
I was unaware of that.
I need the next one.
So we're 0-0.
We have. Okay. We need one of us needs
Yeah.
to at least win one.
We're racking up donuts right now. Okay.
Okay, so which cryptid would win in a 1v1 fight, the werewolf or the chupacabra?
Okay.
This is clear cut.
It is. Okay, because it's gonna be the werewolf.
Yeah. For sure.
Not
for sure.
in any way putting down a chupacabra. No one knows the chupacabra.
He eats
I mean-
goats.
Does he?
Yeah. But people know the chupacabra. I think
Okay,
yeah.
I'm
because,
going off way over my own personal
and
experience. I did
that's
not know
why
this.
I do think that like nobody's gonna go with the chupacabra because like the chupacabra is eating goats and livestock.
Mhm.
The werewolf.
What is the werewolf feast?
I actually don't know what werewolves feast on, but
I'm
People.
assuming people.
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 Yeah. Okay. People. Yeah. I mean, well, I don't want to cast aspersions upon werewolves though. But like, if you're confirming that they eat people, then
Well,
that's
it's not just people. They tend to attack people. I guess they would eat more like forest animals, like deer.
forest
Deer are
animals.
stupid, so it would work.
Yeah.
So werewolves do prey upon people.
People.
Occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
I think you also werewolves are people though. You forget that. So they do have a code of ethics, if you will.
Mm-hmm. But okay, understand like this: like if a werewolf is a person, then a person knows how to attack another person.
Mm-hmm.
So they know their audience. They know their prey. While the chupacabra is an animal.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we're animals too, but not as intelligent. I'll say.
Here's my thing, right? Are we assuming that, despite its human basis,
Mm-hmm.
that a werewolf has an animalistic instinct?
It does. It does.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because I'm saying that's the important thing here. Because if you don't have the instincts of a wolf, you're not gonna beat basically a wolf.
Well, I feel like, and it's always like whenever you turn into a werewolf, it's like you're not you anymore. You're the werewolf. Like, it's like two.
I
Separate
mean, that's
people.
fair. That's
So
fair.
I guess if it's two separate people, it's like just a dog v dog fight.
The bigger dog wins,
Bigger dog wins.
and the bigger dog would be the werewolf.
It would.
So I know we're both gonna say
But
werewolf.
we're gonna say werewolf again.
Okay. You go first this time because I choose last time.
Oh, okay. I might be going 80-20.
That's what I was gonna do.
2 steps ahead.
You're not 2 steps ahead. We're just taking turns.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna but like the last, I'll be optimistic about this, right? Like the last few have surprised me in the diversity of the answers. So maybe going that bold maybe isn't like, but I still feel like most people do say the werewolf. I say the werewolf wins 70-30. That's my
This
final
is
answer.
close.
Alrighty, so the werewolf wins by a 61%,
God.
and the chupacabra has a 39%.
That's 1 point for me.
That's tough.
1 point for me.
That's tough.
Okay.
All right, as to our last one, which cryptid would win in a 1v1 fight? The Kraken versus the Loch Ness
But this
Monster.
is the last one?
Good old Ness.
Because the thing is, like, those two, I think, are at pretty similar popularity levels.
People know what these are.
People know
Yeah,
both
yeah.
those names.
Here's what I think you need to take into consideration when you're thinking about this.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Loch Ness Monster, who, if you know, you know, Nessie. Is what she's referred to as.
Yeah, we'll call her by name.
Yeah. Is a dinosaur, essentially.
Okay.
A dinosaur.
That's fair.
So, like, you cannot discount the R that being a dinosaur brings to a fight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I think there's just too much mystery surrounding Nessie. Like,
I mean, there's mystery surrounding all of these.
yes, but more against Nessie than the Kraken. Kraken, it's been in the media. It's been around.
Yeah.
Nessie's just popular.
So between these two, my favorite by far is Nessie. By far.
By
Agreed.
far.
Agreed.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
The Kraken.
He's pretty cool.
No.
What do you mean no?
No.
Yes, he is.
You don't want to sit down and have a beer with the Kraken.
You don't want to
He
sit
can
down
have
and
8
have
beers.
the beer with
No.
Nessie.
What do you say?
You don't want to sit down and have a beer with Nessie.
Why not?
You have a picnic with Nessie.
You'd have-
Oh,
you
that's
got
true,
a treat
that's
to
a good
ride.
You'd have
That's a good
wine,
point,
You'd
that's a
have
good
wine
point.
with Nessie.
Have wine with, because Nessie. Yeah, like that's what
Nessie's
I'm saying. Like,
drinking no. But the Kraken's drinking the Guinness.
Or a
That's
White
what
Claw.
the Kraken.
Oh, what? Maybe a
No,
white.
here's what happens if you sit down and try and have a beer with the Kraken. He's gonna start talking about like his stock portfolio and his admiration for Elon Musk. That's what he's gonna start doing, and that's gonna be like, shut up, Kraken.
I feel like the Kraken
I
would be
get it.
annoying.
I know you had a finance major, okay?
But Nessie's gonna be like, oh, I just planted these tulips, but I don't care, Nessie. I don't care.
Nessie's like your grandmother. Show her some respect.
But she's not though.
She'd make you some
She's-
pies.
It would be like a random old lady.
Not a random old lady. She's the old lady.
The old lady.
So, okay. I think I've made it clear that I like Nessie better.
Mhm.
Now, in service of like who would win in a fight.
Mhm.
So Nessie is Scottish and lives in a lake.
Yeah.
That's not like
I see where you're coming.
I don't know if that gives Nessie like the teeth to really, you know.
Well, think about it also in the sense of like, what did they choose? Like, because they probably. I don't know.
I'm gonna say it now. My answer for this question, I honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I really can't stand the Kraken. But my answer to the question is gonna be that the Kraken would win. I think that's what the people chose too.
Yeah, I'll also pick Kraken.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Oh wait, do I pick Kraken? I do. I pick Kraken.
You can make this interesting.
I could. Okay,
But then again, you have to at least tie. But like,
I'd have to tie.
yeah, wait. So if you want to tie, you have to go the other one.
No, I don't, because if I do, just say you pick your numbers, like what you think wins,
Mhm.
and I pick mine.
No, but
and
here's what I'm saying. If we pick different ones, we don't have to do the numbers.
I guess you're right.
Because that's like the tiebreaker.
No,
we're
I
doing.
think Loch Ness does it, but I don't. We both said the opposite. Like, you like Loch Ness, I like Kraken. I have to pick Nessie. I'll pick Nessie, because I think Nessie. Maybe not. I think Nessie's so mysterious. We don't know what she would do in a battle. Maybe she'd pull out a killer move.
But here's the thing: like, there are no accounts of Nessie. Like, the Kraken has been known for wreaking havoc on shipping vessels throughout centuries and millennia.
Yeah.
Like,
The Kraken's been taken down before.
the Kraken has not been taken down before.
I think maybe once.
No, it has not been.
And yeah, Nessie is also a dinosaur, to your point. But you're going
I
Kraken.
know. Again, I've made it very clear that I have no interest in having any relations whatsoever with the Kraken.
Relations.
Yeah, wait, that was
So- of any nature, whether it
But
be
Nessie.
social
Lord.
or sexual. I have no interest in relations with the Kraken whatsoever.
Dude,
Good to know that you're not like the Deep.
The Deep? Oh, no. All right.
But
you go first.
and like what Connor said is true. Like, it is based off the giant squid, and the giant squid is just an animal that like does kind of, you know, get 1v1'd by others like pretty regularly. But I'm thinking about the mythos here. I'm thinking the Kraken as something singularly. What's the finger for?
Because I've figured out why I'm choosing Nessie.
You figured it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
People see two options. They might not even read the prompt.
Mm-hmm.
They see two options. They see Nessie and the Kraken. The Nessie, like you said, you go on a picnic with Nessie. Nessie's fun.
You don't even. You're being so disingenuous because you were just hating on her. So much.
I was.
You're switching teams.
No. I'm still team. I love the Kraken. I love the Kraken more than Nessie. But I can see how the people would say, look at the two options and be like, Nessie, you know what? Chill, relax, picnic, wine, Chardonnay. I'm going Nessie. And I'm standing by. And like I said, I don't want any relations with Nessie. Like you don't want any relations with the Kraken.
That's crazy, by the way. But
You chose Kraken.
I know. I do think that people.
You leave me with very little options.
The people.
Here.
Your rationale, I think, is actually really great.
Okay.
I'm still going Kraken. I think that people picked Kraken. So.
People pick Nessie.
All right, so should I squander this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so the people has picked the Kraken with a 65% and Nessie with a 35%.
There we go.
This is tough.
There we go.
This is tough
So let's. I think at some point. So for next episode, I'm gonna have a scoreboard up here. So it's gonna have it's gonna have 2 under my name.
Yeah.
And,
Barely.
And
It's
barely.
It's gone down to the wire each time. This ain't.
You're gonna put an asterisk next to my 2. Asterisk.
Cheap
barely.
wins. Cheap
Cheap wins.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Cheap wins.
Whatever. I got you. Know what? No. I won't stand for this. I'm
You
winning
won't
next
stand
one.
for this?
I won't stand for this.
I'm not gonna stand for your Nessie slander.
Okay, that was no. I'm not gonna stand for your Kraken slander. What is this? You stock portfolio? Is that what you said?
What I said is that if you sit down and have a beer with the Kraken, it's gonna start telling you about stock portfolios and its admiration for Elon Musk.
No.
That's what the
just not
Kraken
true.
is. That is what the Kraken is. You need to confront that fact. The Kraken owns a Cybertruck. You need to deal with that.
Good for him. Good for him. He's economically built enough to own a Cybertruck. Good for him.
Economically built enough and mentally
what is Nessie driving?
like
A Kia Soul?
not there enough to buy.
Nessie is an environmentalist and wouldn't.
Good for her.
She probably wouldn't own a car.
Good for her. I would not want to have a.
She lives
if
in
we're
a small
comparing-
town.
If we're comparing
In
this point, which one we'd rather have a
Scotland.
drink with? Definitely the Kraken. Nessie, oh my God, I'm
Nessie
drinking
would make
wine.
the
The
best
stories are going
pies.
on and on. Just get done with it, lady. Like I'm done.
How dare you slander Nessie?
The Kraken's favorite movie is Wolf of Wall Street.
Maybe. And maybe he
Not
talks
maybe,
about
definitely.
maybe he talks about it.
And he talks about it too much.
Maybe he talks about it a little too
Probably.
much.
And
a little
he-
too much.
And he enjoyed the first Joker movie a little bit too much.
Yeah.
He's watching
I could see
Joker
that.
2 and storming out because it's a musical.
Yeah.
But I feel like though if you wanted to watch a movie with Nessie, it'd be some random ass old movie you never heard of. It's definitely boring. It definitely is.
No.
It
She
is.
put on The Princess Bride.
No, she wouldn't.
Yes, she
That's
would.
That's too much for her. That's too much.
I disagree.
No, the Kraken. Yeah, he might like some strange movies. He might like Fight Club a little too much as well. Might relate too much.
I don't think you're quite getting this. The Kraken is sexist. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay, that's a bold claim for the Kraken.
I was trying to dance around it.
No.
You're not quite picking up on it.
No.
Like the Kraken.
No.
Like you know who the
No.
Kraken's voting for. That's what I'm saying.
No, I think the Kraken's purple. Where
What does
where
the
does he
color
live? Where does
of
he
the
live?
Kraken's skin have to do with
not because of the
anything?
skin. He's purple. He's blue and red, in the sense of
Best case scenario.
Voting.
Best case scenario. He's a libertarian that votes
where
red.
does he live all day? He lives in the ocean blue. I think that plays a stake into it. That plays a part.
He lives in the ocean. What does that have to do? What are you?
Blue.
Blue.
You said you know who he's voting for.
So okay. This is that is feeble ground and reasoning.
I feel like you're making bold claims with no evidence. You're just You're just stinking stuff up. I'm pulling out evidence. I'm saying, where does he live? What's his climate like?
You were also making bold claims about Nessie.
Well, those are just pretty
You
true,
were.
though.
I disagree.
Those are in response to his bold claims. I felt attacked.
I still
I
can't
needed
get
to-
over your guys' Mothman. You guys hate actual moths.
No,
Well,
okay,
moths are-
I do hate actual moths. I pulled up the picture, by the way, and we're gonna do it again. Actually, we're gonna do it again. We're
Put
gonna
it
put
up.
a picture of a big furry, disgusting moth on the screen.
They're beautiful.
Butterflies are beautiful.
They're both
Have you
cute.
have you seen the SpongeBob episode when they let the butterfly loose? Terrifying.
Terrifying? I've encountered a terrifying butterfly.
If you guys are
before,
afraid
but
Really?
of insects,
yeah.
you need help.
You've encountered a terrifying butterfly?
Oh yeah, I was mowing my lawn, and I was going around a corner, like on a fence, and that thing was huge. I had to step away from the lawnmower. I got nervous.
Wow.
From a butterfly.
It was. You should have seen this thing. This wasn't like a regular butterfly you see. You get like a little kid gets distracted by in the street. No.
You guys aren't afraid of the actual really scary bugs. You're just afraid of butterflies.
Oh no, I'm
and-
afraid of those too.
Well, I'm not afraid of butterfly. Like I said, it all depends on the
It
size of the
sounds
insect.
like you're afraid of butterflies.
No. Moths, yes.
Yeah.
I agree with him on
Yeah.
that. Butterflies, no.
They're
Butterflies
so
are
pretty.
nice. I called butterflies beautiful.
Yes, and so are moths.
That's a different spectrum.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Beauty's in the eye of
I-
the beholder.
I do not claim to make any concrete statements about any of this, but moths scare me and I don't like them.
Butterflies don't scare you? Or butterflies could scare you?
In theory, butterflies could scare me. Like
I agree.
if the circumstances allowed for it, a butterfly could scare me.
A butterfly jumps up out of nowhere, you might be a little startled. That's how I felt with my butterfly interaction. It came out of nowhere.
Okay. So I think we're kind of getting
We're getting sidetracked. We
a
should.
bit sidetracked. As fun as this is for the purposes of the podcast,
You won, whatever.
we're gonna wrap this up.
Mickey Mouse won.
That's no,
No.
I don't stand for that. Thank you so much
Yeah, thank
to
you so much.
Elena
Yeah,
for
thank you
hosting
so
here with
much.
us, who
Yeah.
has been an incredible host.
A lot of fun. Yes.
And has done a very as good a
Great
job
job,
as
yeah.
anybody could
Oh,
as
yeah,
keeping us on
yeah.
track. So again, thank you very much for being here, and
Yes.
we very much appreciate your time.
100%.
Thank you.
And and thank audience for watching and listening.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. So this will be it for this episode.
Yeah.
We appreciate you all tuning in. We surely have had a pretty amazing time recording it.
Oh yeah. Took
So-
a few attempts and tries.
We hope it's been a philosophically,
We got you thinking.
morally, ethically, scientifically
Yeah.
thought-provoking.
I think, and no
podcast
hate to
for
any
you here.
insects or cryptids. I
No,
think.
no. Well,
None.
we love our cryptids.
Love 'em.
We don't love our insects so much,
Not
and
as
that's
much.
okay. And that's just the opinion of
The beholder.
yeah, that's the opinion of us. Elena disagrees,
Elena does disagree.
and that's fine.
You can
But-
disagree.
That's what this country is about.
It's all about.
That's yes.
We tie it back to America.
But to really, we're having trouble wrapping this up.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed. See you next week.
Hope you enjoyed. See you next week. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yep.
We hope you join us next week.
Yep.
We're gonna have a lot of fun episodes coming up for you as
Yeah.
October rolls through, election season, the
Halloween.
holiday season. Thank you so much. I am
Goodbye.
Carlo.
I'm Sam.
I'm Elena.
Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the Quad Pod signing off.